next performance will come from the forensics team of Garden City High School. The forensics and debate teams have had unprecedented success under the direction of Mr. Russ Tidwell, including 2 state runner-up performances at the state speech competition and a state championship in 2011.
Our next performer are a set of twins performing a duo. Isabel and Amanda Seraphin are both second-year members of the Buffalo forensics team and also compete on the Buffalo debate team. The Seraphins will be performing their duo, 36 minutes. Amanda, Isabel.
This is so typical. Hi. There you are. For crying out loud. You can't even say hello? You were 36 minutes late. 36? You're so strange. Why is that strange? You were 36 minutes late. Well, most people would just say half an hour, not 36 minutes. But you were 36 minutes late, not a half an hour. Okay. All right. I get it. There's no need not to be precise. Deb. You're right. I'm sorry. How is she? Oh, so you're interested now? Deb! I'm sorry. Well, it started again. It is often said that the bond between sisters is the most difficult to break. As being twins, no, that's definitely true. But that isn't quite the case with 2 sisters, Deb and Kate, whose crazy mother has gone to a hospital, leaving the 2 girls to pick up the pieces. Literally. 36 minutes. By Jess Gall. So Mom's finally gone too crazy, huh? How bad is she this time? She's not living at home anymore. She's in the hospital. We just have to get a few of her stuff so that we can sell the house. And since when did we decide to sell the house? Well, let's not pretend that you care. We both know that you need the money, so save your fraudulent attempts at nostalgia or sadness. Wow. I know. I'm sorry. You keep saying that. I know. I'm sorry. Sorry. I know. I wish you would stop. Mother used that phrase all the time. We used to hate that phrase. Will you live with someone long enough? It's hard not to pick up a few behaviors. You didn't live with her that long. 5 years? 11 months? 16 days? So 6 years? No! 5 years. 11 months. 16? Okay, so 6 years? Welcome back, sister. Hope your vacation from us was worth it. Get your stuff. I'm not hungry. We need to get started on the house. I'd like to get finished as soon as possible. You'll be sleeping in Mom's room. Come on, Deb. I'd rather sleep on the couch. The couches have been cleared out. You'll just have to sleep in Mom's room. I'm sure you'll be fine. You probably don't remember anything anyway. I seriously doubt that. Well, good morning. It's about time. It's almost 9:30. I thought for a second you'd sleep till noon. Well, I would have, if it were for this monster truck rally occurring in our living room. Oh, was I being loud? So sorry. Yeah, sure. Coffee? Kitchen. So, what's with all the license plates in Mom's room? Mom's old room. It's not her room anymore. What? Nothing. The license plates. She started collecting those when you left. She said it made her feel more familiar with the places you've gone. She felt closer to you. Wow. She missed you. For some reason. Okay. So I've divided up the room into 4 quadrants of boxes that need sorted based on chronology. We have married, after he left, mentally ill, and after she left. Deb! I guess it's a little flawed because she's been mentally ill throughout all the other phases too. Deb! What are you yelling about? This is seriously messed up, Deb. Most people just categorize with, like, family room or Christmas stuff. Well, we didn't exactly have a family or a Christmas, so I thought my labels were more appropriate. I can't do this. I don't care. You're doing this now. No, I gotta go. Kate! Kate, you can't just keep leaving. I can't do this without you. Here I am again. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Deb, come on, you gotta talk to me eventually. Oh, so now you want to talk. 6 years, and you want to talk. Well, frankly, I'm not at your beck and call, so no, I don't think I do have to talk to you eventually. We're sisters, Deb. Since when? You left. You have no right here. You know, I thought she was actually starting to get better before you left. She was. I know it. She was sleeping more, hardly any tantrums. She hadn't had an incident in almost 3 months. You mean a suicide attempt? There's no need not to be precise, right? Yes, a suicide attempt. She was getting better. It had been 3 months, and then you left. You just had to leave. She wasn't getting better, Deb. She was worse than ever. Don't try to revise history when it's written on my body in scars. But she was getting better. No, she wasn't. Fine. She wasn't getting better. Doesn't matter anyway, because after you left, it got worse. She'd stay up for days, delusional with sleep deprivation, babbling on and on about the way she would kill herself, organizing and reorganizing the kitchen 4 times a day, throwing screaming rages that left claw marks all over my body. She thought I would leave, so she hated me. I couldn't blame her for thinking that either. After all, she was just expecting me to do the exact same thing that you and Dad did. She was awful. And you just got to parade around the country, sending in little postcards that made her happier than I ever could. You, the daughter who abandoned her, she loved. But me, her caretaker, the only one who stood by her side, she hated. She hated me. Listen, Deb, she didn't hate you. She hated me. She'd write me letters to wherever I'd send a postcard from, detailing in every way how I was torturing my mother and my sister. How I was selfish. How I wasn't worth anything. She hated me. She sent you letters? Yeah. Why would she tell you that she hated you? She told me because she's sick, Deb. Really sick. You can't believe anything she says. Her mind isn't right. You can't be responsible for anything she says. Our mom is mentally ill, Deb. What about all the times? That's why I left. She was doing too much damage, and I didn't want to have to believe her anymore. But listen, Deb. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I guess you are, aren't you? Yeah. So listen, I'll take mentally ill and after he left if you take marriage and after she left. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe we can be finished by today. Yeah, it's time we finish this. And hey, maybe if we finish, say, 36 minutes early, you and I can go get something to eat. Catch up? Maybe. If I can spare 36 minutes.
Thank you, ladies, for that duo interpretation. These young ladies led last year's telethon with their novice debate, and here they are in our last hour this year. I'm sure we'll be seeing much more from these two in the future.
As we would like to thank all of you for your kind words and comments on our Facebook page and our Twitter account for making this an interactive show. We also want to give a big shout out to all of those who are watching this on our live stream on thecube.com.
Shout out to Haas.
This is the first time in this event's 19-year history that we've been able to bring the Speech-a-thon to a potential global audience. And of course, your contributions to this event make it all possible.
Our next performance this evening will come from Eric Maxwell. Eric will be performing his dramatic interpretation, Lucky Man, by Michael J. Fox. Eric?
I wake up to find the message in my left hand. It has me trembling. And now it's not a fax or a memo or any other bringer of bad news. In fact, there's nothing in my left hand at all. The trembling is the message. Esteemed actor and comedian Robin Williams once said, "Comedy can be a cathartic way to deal with personal trauma." When Michael J. Fox developed Parkinson's disease, his desire to mask these symptoms and still make the audience laugh became his focus and constant struggle. But through this experience, he found that no matter how useless you may feel, you're always someone's reason to smile. Lucky Man. A memoir. Now, I'm feeling a little disoriented. I've only been filming this movie in Florida for about a week, and so the hotel bed still comes as a bit of a shock each morning. I have a hangover, which is a little bit less of a shock. That's when I notice it. My pinky. It's twitching, trembling. How long this had been going on, I couldn't tell you, but I was even more surprised by the fact that I couldn't stop it. Maybe I'd slept on it funny. After a couple weeks, when it grew to be my entire hand and somewhat of my arm, I grew a little nervous. I found myself pacing the halls of Mount Sinai Hospital in New York City. White-jacketed nurses and doctors scurried about. Any one of them would have likely recognized the name of the physician I was seeking, but that's just it. I feared they might also recognize me, and I didn't want any gossip about why Michael J. Fox was seeking out the most prominent neurologist in North America. A few minutes later, the lady at the reception desk showed me to the examining room, and as I was shutting my jacket and taking off my ball cap, she noticed the twitch in my hand and told me that I didn't need to be nervous. A few minutes after that, Dr. Joyce walked in. Now, the most paranoid fantasy that I could think of would not have prepared me enough for the two words that the doctor bludgeoned me with that day. Parkinson's disease. Recollecting my exact response to this is difficult. I was in my late 20s when the symptoms showed up. How could it be Parkinson's? The wind drew from my lungs. I was trembling from head to toe, all the while wondering, what am I going to tell Tracy? What was I going to tell my wife, Tracy? Stepping out onto rain-soaked Manhattan, it was almost as if I was entering a whole new world. But the only profound difference wasn't around me, but within me. Hailing a cab and the ride home would take a while, but that was okay. I needed the time to think about what I was going to tell Tracy and my son Sam, the studio, and the audience. Well, the cab ride wouldn't be enough time. I get to the apartment, and I let myself in, and immediately I can smell dinner cooking. I hear my son Sam giggling in the other room. I can't go in there and face him at that moment. Tracy enters from the kitchen, and I slowly motion her to the bedroom, and I can feel as the curiosity in her eyes slowly turns to fear. So I tell Tracy, and she cries. The whole in sickness and in health bit, all the while hugging me. My immediate response to Tracy, it's gonna be okay. My immediate response to myself, what's gonna be okay? So, as it was, each week's show presented a new and creative physical challenge. Could I count on my body to react the way it had in rehearsal? Now, whatever it appeared I was doing on stage, I was in fact doing something else. A little repertoire of tricks and distracting gestures to keep the audience from noticing the symptoms. You see, an audience that doesn't know what you're going through, they don't know what to look for. Had the audience known that I was suffering from an incurable disease, would they jump along for the ride? Or would they be watching for the symptoms and feeling sorry? Can a sick person be funny? I was beginning to realize that this was what was keeping me from telling people about the Parkinson's, all the while doing the math. How long since the last pill? How long until it wears off? And at what point in tonight's show will I have to take another one? Please let it not be during the scene I'm in. This was my greatest fear. Still, making the audience laugh, it remained my greatest pleasure. So I persisted for 7 years in not letting the audience know. I can vividly remember all those nights when the studio audience had to wait for the symptoms to subside. Them unknowing I was backstage in the dressing room, twisting and rolling on the floor. And when that approach didn't work, I decorated the walls with fist-sized holes, the graffiti of my frustration, all the while wondering how much longer can I keep doing this? I found myself in Dr. Joyce's office. It was a Friday morning, and I had a show that night. I've been getting this feeling lately. That old feeling like I'm waiting on the other shoe to come down. You see, the distance that the disease has put between me and the ones I love has narrowed. But what about the audience? Michael, you have Parkinson's disease. The other shoe came down a long time ago. Almost as if I had walked into a hug. I was immediately enveloped in a wave of emotion. Not of sadness, but relief and pride. Dr. Joyce was right. The other shoe, it had come down a long time ago. And I survived. There was nothing left to fear. So, as phase 1 was being completed, People magazine had the story, and about the time that it was going to hit the newsstand, I would be beginning phase 2, presenting my story in front of the camera and to the audience. Naturally, I, of all people, should have known that things don't always go as planned. People released the story a week early, and all hell broke loose. My phone was going off, emails. I half expected my computer to start greeting me with, "Welcome, you have Parkinson's." But it was time. It was time, and I was ready. Spin City, Season 8, Episode 13. Good evening. Coping with the accumulating damages is not easy. It has not been easy for me, my wife, my son Sam, or for you as a studio audience. Still, this unexpected catastrophe has forced a fundamental life decision. Develop a siege mentality, or embark on a journey. Whatever that is, courage, acceptance, wisdom. This is what has finally allowed me to go down the second road after spending a few 7 disastrous years on the first. It's unquestionably a gift, and despite this neuropsychological catastrophe, I don't know if I would have ever opened that gift and been so profoundly blessed. And it is for that reason that I stand before you today, a studio audience, considering myself a lucky man.
Outstanding dramatic interpretation. Eric is a 4-year member of the Buffalo forensics team and has had one of the most successful forensic career in Garden City High School history. He is a 3-time national qualifier, a state champion his freshman year in prose, a state runner-up his sophomore year in DI, and a state 3rd place in DI his junior year.
We would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our performers this evening. These students have spent many hours in preparation to perform for us this evening in the 19th annual Speech-a-thon. You have had the opportunity to see some of the young members of the debate and forensic teams, along with some of the returning lettermen from last year.
Our next performance will come from the forensics team of Garden City High School. Last season, the Buffalo forensics team finished 5th at the state speech championships and look to improve on that finish this season. The forensic season will officially end in May.
Our next performer, Lacey Hobbs, is a 4-year member of the Buffalo Forensics team and last year was a state semifinalist in the event you will be watching. Lacey will be presenting a dramatic interpretation entitled Knowing Jessie. Lacey?
My mother was a world-class warrior. I hated her than the daily drama. I would recite the same litany after every one of her declarations. I'm staying up to watch the late movie. You're gonna get sick. I'm gonna swim past the raft. You're gonna get sick. I'm going to college. You're gonna get sick. Oh, it just made my brain explode. How could she worry so much about me? I had decided right then and there that my life would not be lived in fear of what could happen. I refused to be like her. And then I had Jessie. From the moment a child is born, it is the parent's responsibility to provide nurture and necessity. However, it is often forgotten what a child provides, like love, possibility, and hope. After all, the old saying still persists, that through the eyes of a child, you will see the world how it ought to be. Knowing Jessie by Mary Ann Leone. When we decided to have Jessie, we had been married 5 years. We felt ready. We went, of course. I pushed it, but everything was fine. I kept a careful record of everything I ate. I never had a drink. And Jane Fonda, 9, heard a pregnant woman did exercises every day. It wasn't pretty, but I did it. When we saw you on the sonogram that day, your back was turned to us. Your sex hidden. We knew you were a boy. You were always a Jesse Layton, named after your great-grandfather. Before you were born, your name was Noo-Noo-Noons. Your mother was great at nicknames. I was in my 29th week of a happily uneventful pregnancy when my immune system shut down and he was born. October 15, 1987, 2:52 p.m., 3.7 pounds. 10 weeks early. And on the 3rd day of his life, he had a massive cerebral hemorrhage. And they didn't expect him to last the week. Deciding to stay was one of the first of his warrior choices. And on December 8, 1987, he reached the magic 6-pound bar and they let us take him home. His diagnosis, cerebral palsy, developmental delays, and seizure disorder possible. But you were home. You were with us. Hello, Jessie. You're so handsome. Oh, he had huge dark brown eyes and perfectly shaped lips. All the features that on my face were too strong. Looks great on Jess. Enhanced by Chris's high brow and curvy lips. Jessie was going to have a hard enough time in this world. Good looks couldn't hurt. And I knew he was intelligent. I didn't need words to know that. I knew it when he was 8 months old and he burst out laughing the first time he heard the chipmunks singing a Christmas song. We had even heard him attempt to say, "I love you," in other words. I told this to his pediatric neurologist on our first and last visit to him. He looked at me with distaste. I was wasting his time with wishful thinking. I was obviously in denial. The doctor pronounced a solemn verdict. Jessie would never be intellectually normal. And then he asked with his lizard brain if we planned on having more children. This was the first time I had to be physically restrained from attacking one of his healers. Years later, when Jesse's intelligence was finally tested correctly, he scored in the 99th percentile. I wrote to the neurologist saying how hard it must be for him not to confuse himself with God, since he has interns hanging on his every word, but that he was most definitely not God. In fact, he was a murderer. He murdered the futures of brain-damaged children every day by making absurd pronouncements. Of course, I never heard from him again, but I like to think he hesitated the next time before asking parents in code if they planned on getting a good one the next time. As far as I was concerned, our son was brilliant, and we were going to raise him that way. When Jesse was 7, he enrolled in a program at Boston College that used a new prototype eye gaze computer. Electrodes were fixed on his face and his eyes moved the cursor. Jesse proved to us that he could read using the device, as I had long suspected. One of the pages said, we wanted to fly the kite high, but the wind was too strong. And I asked Jesse, well, what if that describes you? And he hit the word strong over and over. Strong, strong, strong. You know what's up. It's definitely the seizures that made me so convinced he'll die. We never knew when a sunny bout of giggles would be interrupted and Jesse would be jerked away. I just knew that someday I would find him dead in his bed. And on the morning of January 3rd, 2005, I found him. When I saw him lying there like a sleeping prince, his beautiful lips tinged blue, I knew. I knew when I pulled back his eyelid and saw his huge brown eyes fixed and staring. And when I called Barbara's father and watched him give him CPR, when he said, call 911, I knew. I knew. Jesse was gone. The exact cause was sudden, unexplained death and epilepsy. You know, when some people are teasing over the fact that I'm not on antidepressants, when your emotions are flatlined, it's embarrassing. People edge away from you in the supermarkets afraid your grief might taint them. You might cry, you might be inappropriate, you might remind them that what is precious to them could be taken away in a heartbeat. Their perception is it's for the best, or he's free now and so are you. But I would have gladly had to Jesse's on this ice frame for as long as my body could tolerate the weight. My life was really in the balance. I wanted to die. I wanted to die. To see my son again. Jesse wanted a tattoo. And I told him he would have to wait until he was 18. So on the year he would have been 18, I got the word Jesse tattooed on the inside of my wrist. You know, when many people first saw Jesse, they saw disabilities and limitations. I grew to see accomplishments and possibilities. I found a teacher of unconditional love. And today, the tattoo is a reminder that I was and will always be his mother, every day for the rest of my life.
Thank you, Lacey. As we move into next performances of this year's Speech-a-thon, remember, you can see all the behind-the-scenes photos of all the performers, as well as the staff and crew of BBS TV. Just go to facebook.com/Buffalo Broadcasting System, or you can follow us on Twitter at BBSTV21.
We've seen some amazing performances from the Buffalo Forensic Team and Buffalo Debate teams. We would like to thank all of our sponsors who have generously donated. You, the sponsors, make it possible for our debate and forensic teams to travel to the state competition and compete in the highest level competitions. You also make it possible for our broadcasting program to compete in the Kansas Association of Broadcasters Award.
Our next performance will come from the forensics team of Garden City High School. Last season, the Buffalo Forensics team finished 5th at the State Speech Championships, and our next performer was a part of that team.
Jack Spellman will now be presenting his humorous interpretation entitled The Lost Soul of Captain Composure. Let's move over to the B set with Jack.
Yarn, shut the blast if you interrupted me dreams. Yo, man, you in the middle of the ocean and you about to drown. Yeah, well, thanks for spoiling the ending. Sorry, lass, you didn't deserve that. The name's Jack. Captain Jack. Captain Jack, short fuse composure. What manner of creature be you? I'm a mermaid, the princess of the sea. And you in the middle of the ocean and you about to drown. Yar, 'tis true, the last thing I remember me first made Curly Pete saw a horrific sight upon the horizon. Antoine Lemieux, my nemesis, and a whole armada of French soldiers were barreling towards us. Pete suggested that we blow up our own ship. You know, make them think we're already being under attack. And I said, yeah, Pete, you know, you could blow up our ship, but then, you know, we die. And then I guess all Pete heard was, yes, Pete, blow up our ship, because the next thing I know, I'm stranded in the middle of the ocean talking to a mermaid. Yo, man, I ain't interested in your stories. Let me see your soul, and I could save your life. Ah, selling your soul. We've all been there. Wanting something you can't have and sacrificing your eternal happiness to get it. Makes sense. I once sacrificed my soul for 3 things. 1, obviously, devastating good looks. 2, maybe a little bit more obvious, abnormal height. And 3, the ability to talk with a deep baritone voice. None of these have really worked out for me because I am as single as one man could possibly be. Not the point. Point being, it's The Lost Soul of Captain Composure by Tim Kokendorfer. Yarglass, how about you show me tattoo instead? Yo, man, I just want to see your soul. I don't think you understand how this works. A soul is a lot like the lost land of China. Lots of people talk about it, but no one's sure if it actually exists. Yo, man, that's just not true. All right, I ain't supposed to do this. But this is the lost shell of Atlantis. This legendary stone said to give you all the riches in all of the world. All the riches in the world, you say? All of them. Whole world mine, you say? Figuratively speaking, you say? Stop doing that. All right, look. Just take this and give me your soul. Simple as that. All right then, lass. It seems that I do have my soul in this canteen here. Don't you worry, man. I'll take real good care of this, you see. You've changed, Captain. You seem no longer to love things that are loved by the soul. Food, drink. You even left her in the middle of Brussels sprouts Robert's lute playing the other night. It'd be the consensus of the crew here that it was your soul in the canteen that you sold to the leprechaun. It was a mermaid. And it was an empty canteen and nothing more. Well, that's the chaplain. Ruthless Bill? What do you think? I told you not to call me Ruthless Bill. You shouldn't become a chaplain on a pirate ship then, Ruthless Bill. I didn't become a chaplain. You kidnapped me. Okay, let's let the past be in the past, all right? Ruthless Bill, what do you think of Captain Composer's predicament? I think of a man that gains the world, but then he loses his soul in the process. Then what does he really gain? Is the answer the world? It was a rhetorical question. I was going to say he gains a rhetorical question. Either I'm losing me mind, or it was actually my soul in the canteen that I gave to the leprechaun. It'd be no matter, we can reverse course and head full steam back for Mermaid Cove. So explain to me what exactly we're doing here. Well, a long time ago, our mommies and daddies decided we went to have babies, and no, I mean like on this voyage right now. Oh, okay, well, long answer being that a long time ago, man saw sea as something impassable. So they started testing laws of buoyancy, different types of wood, making mock ships. Okay, give me the short answer, please. Well, short answer, the end. That's too short. Captain Composure, where exactly are we going? Mermaid Cove, lad. And what exactly do they have there? Mermaids. Captain Composure, of all of the selfish things you have done, we had everything back on the island. Jewels, gold, riches, all the seawater we could drink. Well, we didn't have women. Okay, well, no women, but, well, no vegetables. No real good sewer system either. Okay, we didn't have that, but we had a lot of other stuff.
Pretty selfish of you, Captain. Remember that one time when I lost my hat? And you were like, nah, we can't go back for it.
You lads be forgetting who negotiated your souls back into your bodies after Curly Pete here blew up our ship. Do you want me to blow up the ship again, Captain? No, Curly Pete.
Is that a no as in yes, or a no as in maybe later?
No as in never, Curly Pete. You're a liability to us.
Yo, everybody.
Welcome back to Mermaid Cove.
Captain, where did the M-R-E-E-A-Y? I don't know how to spell mermaid. Captain, when did the mermaid get on our ship?
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good question. I've been here the whole time. So what exactly are you guys looking for? My soul. Oh yeah, your soul. I'm afraid that I traded it. You what? Yeah, I mean like I exchanged it for another commodity. I know what traded means, but who did you trade it to? This dude, his name is like Antoine Lemieux or something, and he was like, I'm gonna dig a pit all the way down into Hades and drop your soul in there. I traded it for the ability to dance. You're a mermaid, you don't have legs, you can't dance. You traded me soul to me nemesis, Antoine Lemieux. Yeah, he said he was gonna drop it into hell. Oh, that sea-sucking suck in the sea, he better not. Me grandfather told me to never trust a mermaid. Or a regular maid. Or woman in general, really. So, Lemieux thinks he can get away with stealing me soul and me treasure?
No way, Captain. No way he can get away with both of those things. One thing, yeah, I can see that. Okay, maybe two things. But there's no way he can add a third thing.
Shut up, lass. All right, we're going to reverse course, go back to Composure Island, and find Antoine Lemieux.
We have a gentleman in our possession, the lasso of the Captain Composure. This man has made fun of our accents, raided our ports, and destroyed our ships. We now have his soul, and we will dig a pit all the way down into hell and drop it in.
The only thing you be planning, Lemieux, is thy own death. All right, Lemieux, let's do this. Mano y mano. Shing! Shing! Yarg! Ho-ho! Yarg! Ho-ho! Yarg! Ho-ho!
Is that I feel that way?
All right, then. All right, Lemieux, it seems as though you have my soul and the Shell of Atlantis. So what exactly is your game plan here?
Captain Composure, let us not be so savage, huh? If I have this, I will give you your soul and lives of your men.
Okay, or how about, hear me out. You get the Shell of Atlantis, I get my soul, and you can kill all of my men.
Hey, Captain Composure. Okay, it seems as though we have a deal.
Thank you, Jack. Jack is a 4-year member of the Buffalo Forensics team. He also performed earlier this evening. His goal for his senior season is to be a state finalist, a national qualifier, and to capture a team state title.
We've seen some fine performances from the Buffalo Forensic team this evening, ranging from interpretations to poetry reading. The Buffalo debate team has also presented 2 debate rounds this evening. You, the viewer at home, have witnessed some fine camera work, video graphics, and audio work done by the students of BBS TV.
Our final performance will come from the forensics team of Garden City High School. Last season, the Buffalo Forensics team finished 5th at the state speech championships. The forensics and debate teams are under the direction of Mr. Russ Tidwell.
Our next performers, Isaac Silva and Memphis Palacios, are both veteran members of the Buffalo Forensics team as well as our theater program. They will be performing their duo interpretation, The Bonnie and Clyde. Isaac, Memphis.
Charles Parker was a devoted husband to Emma, and a father to sweet Bonnie, who was baptized here just a few months ago on her 10th birthday. And now, let us all bow our heads in prayer. Bam!
Clyde Barrow, look what you've done. I hope you know how to lay eggs.
I hope you know how to fry chicken.
This is the third time the boys had it running with the law. Now, I don't know how you handled it, but obviously had no effect on the boy, because here we are again. You're gonna have to take him down to the station.
Bang, bang.
Like Clara,
Bang, bang.
like Clara, but the main attraction.
I wanna be like Al Capone. Rising to fame is something that some of us naturally do better than others.
However, as an honor student and poet, life as America's Most Wanted did not stifle Bonnie's interests.
As for Clyde, who looked up to Al Capone, living the life of an outlaw was all that he ever wanted to do.
But in the end, we find that fame isn't always what it seems.
With Bonnie and Clyde by Ivan Manchell.
Dang it, dang it, dang it!
Hey, engine trouble?
Engine trouble, oil trouble, tire trouble.
How about I see if I can fix you up and you give me a lift in West Dallas?
Sure, thanks.
Clyde Barrow.
Bonnie Parker.
You got a beautiful smile. I bet you hear that all the time.
Why, yes, I do.
So do I.
So where are you moving to?
Anywhere I want to, just like legendary Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid? He was an outlaw.
Why, yes, he was.
And wasn't Billy the Kid ambushed and killed by some
He
sheriff?
wasn't ambushed. He lived a long life and died in the arms of a young woman.
Pretty sure he was gunned down.
And I'm telling you,
In some hotel room.
it don't even matter. I got plans.
Everybody's got plans.
Everybody's got dreams. I got plans.
Are those cops looking for you?
Me and my brother did just bust out of jail, so probably.
What were you in for?
Auto theft, robbery, a few things I like to keep busy. So, what do you say? Give me a lift in West Dallas?
Okay.
Bang, bang!
Like Clara,
Alright, so I figure first things first, gotta hit some place with payroll. I mean, can't do much without cash. You wanna know what else?
What?
You're gonna come with me.
What makes you so sure?
The smile.
Just because I'm smiling doesn't
I
mean...
was talking about mine. What are you writing?
Poem. You're going to see my face in the movies and my poetry in the magazines. Poetry by Bonnie Parker. And a beautiful picture of me to go alongside it.
Read me your poem.
You like poetry?
Well, it's coming out of your mouth.
Okay. Billy rode on his pinto horse. Billy the Kid, I mean.
I love Billy the Kid.
I know. And he met Clyde Barrow riding in his little gray machine.
You wrote a poem about me? Oh, you were so in love, sugar.
Billy said to the Barrow boy, "Is this the way you ride?"
In a Ford sedan?
Are you interrupt me every line?
I'm sorry.
I can't read if you're going to do that.
I won't say another.
I only had my pinto horse. My 6-gun tried and true. I could shoot, but they got me. And someday they'll get you.
It's stupid.
Don't call my poetry stupid.
Well, it is whenever you're writing stuff like that. You want to
You
know
don't know
what?
crap
You
about
are
poetry.
so wrong about
I'm
me.
gonna be famous
One day
for my
I'm going to
poetry
be
and
so
my
far
acting
gone from this
career.
place,
Don't
you
you
will
ever
never
call
see
my
me
poetry
again.
just 'cause
And I'll be
you
in
think
control of
I
my whole
can't
goddamn
stand
life. Man, I want you right now.
Should have thought of that before you called my poetry stupid. Don't you laugh at me.
I'm sorry, sugar.
Don't you ever laugh at me. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be an actress, a poet, and a singer.
A singer, huh? Let me hear some.
Not in the mood.
Come on, baby, sing me some. Unless that's going to be about me getting shot up, too. All right, picture this. We're in Atlantic City. Me and Capone are sitting ringside. Everybody's chanting your name. Bonnie, Bonnie, Bonnie.
How about a dance? What do you say? I've got some moves that I'd
That's nice. Bang, bang!
Like Clara, wait, so all I gotta do is sit in the car while you hold up the store, right?
Make sure the engine is running.
Oh my God, I'm nervous.
Maybe you shouldn't be doing this.
Now wait. Did you see the movie Shadow of the Law?
No.
Clara Bow had no choice but to join a criminal gang, so she pretends to go crooked, but really she's
Bonnie!
Okay, I'm ready.
Y'all are Bonnie and Clyde, ain't you? Can I have your autograph?
Why, sure.
Make it out to Archie if you would.
Best of luck, Bonnie and Clyde.
Whoa. Why is it Bonnie and Clyde?
Well, Bonnie and Clyde sounds better than Clyde and Bonnie.
I think Clyde and Bonnie sounds just fine.
Bonnie and Clyde rolls right off the tongue. There's a melody to it.
What do you think, Archie? Bonnie and Clyde or Clyde and Bonnie?
Clyde and Bonnie.
Shoot, he's just saying that because you got the gun. Now what you think is better?
Oh!
Told you.
We'll talk about it whenever we get home.
What's going on, baby?
The walls are outside. One of your poems. Read me anything.
Well, I ain't done yet.
I don't care.
You read the story, Jesse James, of how he lived and died. If you're still in need of something to read, here's the story of Bonnie and Clyde. Sorry, baby, nothing rhymes with Clyde and Bonnie.
You got the lingo, baby. You got the lingo. Send it into the papers. They'll print it.
Really? You think they'd really print it?
They'll print anything that has to do with us.
True Detective says the cops are looking for us in Louisiana and Missouri. Oh, and listen to this. Escape with Bonnie Parker, the ravishing redhead.
That's you, sugar.
Ravishing. I like that. It's more than beautiful, it's...
You. I've been thinking about my Bonnie from the moment I wake up.
You were so in love, baby.
Feeling is the best I ever
Ravishing,
had.
Oh, this is just a
She's
fine
my
day.
shading mirror.
This might be the finest day that I've ever had.
Are you going to keep interrupting me?
Oh.
I cannot sing if you're going to be doing that.
I won't sing.
I have got a rhythm, a lingo I got going on here.
I understand. Baby, there's more cops outside. What are we going to do?
We're going to have to shoot our way out of here.
Okay.
Bam!
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 Baby, we better get going soon, or our folks are going to be stranded out in the woods all alone. And I know my mama brought food.
How am I supposed to face my folks? They gotta hate me.
No.
I killed Buck.
Buck made his own decisions.
We should be dead too.
We gotta be, baby! Finish her poem.
I'm not in the mood.
They'll go down together someday. They'll bury them side by side. To few, it'll be grief. To the law of relief. But it's death for Bonnie and Clyde. Sorry, baby. Nothing rhymes with Clyde and Bonnie.
Honey.
What?
Honey rhymes with Bonnie. You know, if you say it, honey. Lots of folks say it, honey. My ma says it, honey. Biscuits and honey.
Come on, let's go. The main attraction.
Bam! I wanna be like...
Bam!
Alcott. Bam! Poe.
Thank you, Isaac and Memphis, for that fine performance. We can take this opportunity to thank all of the BVS TV people who have been working behind the scenes to make this 19th annual Speech-a-thon such a success. Joshua Ursick and Felipe Rodriguez, who have been our video switchers tonight and in charge of our control room.
Alexandria Terracol has been working on the video computer, preparing all the graphics and sponsor names that you've been seeing on the screen throughout the night.
Cooper Livermore has been the floor manager for both studio sets tonight. His staff, consisting of Ben Carr and Jonah Venerari, have been moving tables, setting up debates, and all of the speech performances that you have been viewing. Nova Haydinger and Justin Sabata have been our talent managers, checking in all the performers and preparing them for their performances.
Anahi Perez has been running our audio mixer boards that have been set up in both studio sets. This requires switching over 24 microphones and adjusting 2 different audio control boards.
Our camera technicians are Ivan Aldana, Perla Herrera, and Claudia Castro. These people have been working with 4 different cameras to allow you to have such great pictures at home.
Our web photographer, Lynn Lee, and our social media liaison, Gunnar Heverly, who have been taking and posting pictures of all the behind-the-scenes photographs that you will be viewing when you go to facebook.com/Buffalo Broadcasting System.
Our teleprompter operator is Haley Dugard. Haley has been operating the equipment which controls our script that we have been presenting to you this evening.
All of the performers who have donated their time to memorize lines, write speeches, prepare debate briefs, and work hard to prepare themselves to give you a fine performance.
And last but not least, our instructors, Mr. Russ Tidwell, coach of the debate team and the forensics team, and Mr. Jesse Bernal, executive producer of BBS TV.
We would also like to thank the rest of the Buffalo Forensic coaching staff, Miss Barbara Hilt, Miss Sarah Cook, and Miss Alice Hilt.
And, of course, we'd like to thank you, the viewer, for tuning into our broadcast and making the 19th annual Speech-a-thon such a great success.
For Juan Maldonado, Madison Farr, Annalise Parr, and the entire BBS TV crew, I'm Sarah Beltran. Have a good night.
Wow. Have an American night.